group as well. So let's see how this goes. Gotta be quick on this. Alright, so hopefully no one saw that time. I'd be very surprised if you did. We do have in the top right the blue Terran, Brockemon, and in the bottom left the yellow Protoss, Mirai. And I do believe because it's a replay, there we go, I can use that cool new interface. So you can all check that out in case you get confused about who you're talking about, or more importantly, if I get confused about who I'm talking about, I can just look to the top there and know exactly what's going on. So we do see Xel'Naga Caverns again, a very standard map, a very well known map now. Everyone of course played on the ladder, has a pretty good feel for what it's like and how to play on it. So we're going to have to see what sort of builds come out of these maps. We do see that pylon going down for Mirai in the base, nothing too special there, and Brockemon here just dropping the depot nice and close to the command center, which is pretty common in a TVP. You don't really want it at the wall. There's not a huge advantage to walling in against Protoss, and this gets you that little bit more mining time. Dropping it close to home, you can just run back and get back on the mineral patch a little bit easier. If the probe comes to harass you while you build a barracks, you can pull in an SCV a bit easier as well. So yeah, pretty ordinary play from Brockemon in this opening. And you see the barracks coming down on 12, right as the probe is there to just have a scout and see what's going on. He's going to come over and try and harass his SCV, but as you can see, Brockemon can get that second SCV off very quickly to deny that probe harass. And if they actually fight out here, I do believe Brockemon will win. But Mirai smartly, as soon as those shields wear out, runs away, just to be annoying as all hell. We just see that gateway going down, and a nice quick gas by Mirai. But again, very standard play out of both players here. Both going to play a straight up macro game by the looks of it, and see what sort of strategy comes out of them. We just have the gas for Brockemon coming up at a very normal time as well, so this doesn't really show too much. Of course, it's very standard in Terran vs Protoss to get a predominantly bio army out for the Terran, which it does look very much like Brockmon's doing thus far, but of course it's still quite early in the game. Normally you get one Marine to deny this scout, and then a tech lab straight away into some sort of Marauders build. Mirai here, dropping that core again, very standard timing here, not actually getting a Zealot out. Oh, as I say that, of course he does Chronovis the Zealot out, so that Zealot is going to come up, which is pretty good play, and it looks like Mirai's actually just going to try and 4-gate bust Brockemon here. He's going to drop a pylon here, I'd guess, and warp in off that, because we do see the rally point for that gateway is right up at Brockemon's ramp here, so definitely looking to apply some heavy pressure here on Brockemon. We do see the reactor coming up actually on the barracks, and a second barracks on the way. Normally that first add-on is a tech lab, so you can start on those crucial stim, concussive shell, and combat shield upgrades nice and quick. And of course Marauders are particularly effective against gateway units with the concussive shell upgrade. They can kite zealots infinitely. They just mow through stalkers, and sentries are pretty squishy, but interesting that Brockmon's actually opting for a heavier marine force here with that reactor. Definitely going to add some more DPS, but a lot more vulnerable, and we do see that push coming up now. That Zealot coming in, actually getting 2 hits off on that Marine, but not enough to take it out. The third hit does kill it though. This one Marine microing for his life, 2 Marines about to pop out. That other barracks has just completed. Not sure what he's talking about. And so he's going to have to fall back now as that bunker is just about to complete as well, which makes this ramp a lot harder to bust for a 4-gate push. And that probe actually dropping back as well. Hasn't actually dropped a pylon, actually bringing a second probe out, so I'm not sure why exactly he's doing this, but maybe he forgot he had a probe with him already. But Mirai here looking to still apply some pressure, but when there's a bunker up you really can't do too much. He is getting that pylon up now. We do have 2 barracks up, one with the tech lab researching that stim, which of course got nerfed in this last patch, so it takes an extra 30 seconds to research. You can see now it's had hardly any progress thus far. The first Marauder is also popping out, but with no concussive shells. They're not too effective against the gateway units, except the Stalker, of course. The bonus to armoured is pretty good. We do see this SCV running around to scout, running around the long way to check everything out. And Mirai, in the meantime, has 3 gates up. Hasn't actually morphed these 2 into warp gates just yet, but with a sentry at the ramp as well, he can deny that scout if he chooses to, if he's paying attention. No, Brockemon actually just going to sit here and see if there's an expansion coming anytime soon. Of course, he's pretty happy to play on one base as long as Mirai's playing on one base, so we do have that in-base command center already going up, as well as an engineering bay. So possibly a bit scared of some sort of void rays I'm not too sure, but Mirai is well behind in army count here. There's a ton of Marines and a Marauder here, which this army is just not going to bust in any way. We do have Stim getting closer and closer to complete. It's got about 60 seconds left to go. One Marauder in that bunker with 2 Marines, so very, very secure here for Brockemon. He's even got 2 SCVs, oh sorry, 3 SCVs down here to repair if required. I do not see Mirai busting this ramp anytime soon, and actually he's just dropped a Nexus, which Brockemon has seen, so he knows there is an expansion on the way now, and that may cause him to push out here. Almost getting that Zealot, 4 HP left, so one more hit from any unit in the game would have killed that Zealot, except for possibly a Broodling. We do have still just the 3 Warp Gates for Mirai, nothing too much going on tech-wise. We do see a Forge coming down though, so it's probably for upgrades, I would suspect, as that Nexus is getting close to complete. Brockemon though dropped the factory and the starport straight away, most likely for medevacs, and we do see that reactor coming down on the factory. So Brockemon playing a very sort of common TVP style where he just gets a heavy bio army with some medevacs and just goes to try and crush the Protoss army before there's a ton of Colossus or High Templar. But Mirai in the meantime is getting his Robo up over here. Once that's complete, I will be very, very likely to see a Robo support bay come down and get those Colossus out as soon as possible. We do see this SCV trying to scout but getting denied by the Stalker at the Watchtower, so it does look like this is prompted Brockemon to push out and get that expansion down. He's going to come over and see this pylon in just a second as I press B, which takes me back just a second, sorry about that. So you should see that pylon in just a sec and take that out. This SCV though does actually live. This Marine will probably not have the same fate though as this Stalker walks over. The Stalker actually on a move command though, so... Oh, there we go, he's going to turn around and just snipe that Marine. And we do see, yeah, he's taking out the pylon now. And getting ready to just have a burst of production facilities as well. Of course, when you get those expansions up, you need to have the production facilities also, or you're just going to get so much money just built up. It's not going to be very useful. So, pretty standard play, as I was saying, from Brockemon. He does only have the 2 Geysers so far, of course. Bio, not too gas intensive. Now that he's getting those medevacs, he may opt to get a bit more, a few more Geysers up, just because those medevacs do sort of eat into that gas supply, especially when you're trying to upgrade your infantry. He's getting that combat shield. Still no sign of concussive shells, which is a little bit surprising, just because concussive shells are so powerful. If you catch a small Protoss force, you can just slow them so much they can't get away, whereas without it, normally you still let half the force escape. This Zealot though, sent out by Mirai, just going to scout around, scout for any sort of hidden expansions or hidden tech by the looks of it. Or maybe he's just coming around to hit these rocks from behind. A slight misclick on a move command or something, I'm not too sure. But it looks like Brockemon getting ready for the big push here. A fairly substantial bio ball here and just a couple of medevacs as well. An SCV coming along just for the ride. So gonna have to see how this push goes, but it looks like Mirai has a ton of sentries, but really not a lot of damage dealing units. As long as those sentries can land some good force fields, he might be okay, but sentries really in a combat situation are not too great. And these medevacs, full medevacs actually coming over to drop in the main. And he is going to drop here. It looks like just a handful of Stalkers and 1 Zealot coming over, not enough to deal with this. Maybe if it was just 1 dropship, but this is 2 dropships worth of units. Going to easily take out all those Stalkers and all those units, and at the same time Brockemon pushing at the front. Going to deny these, sniping the sentry straight away with Guardian Shell. Only 2 Zealots there as well to hit the units that are well force filled in. But Brockemon cleaned up at the front, but his dropship drop, wow, I'm having a bad day with English, is doing really well, taking out those gateways, sniping these units as well. So this is huge damage for Brockemon. Mirai getting far behind with only sentries and 1 Stalker left. I do believe Brockemon should kill all of this as well. As I was saying earlier, sentries are awful in combat. Really the Stalker is the only thing doing a heaps of damage there, but it looks like no, Mirai will just clean this up with 2 sentries and 2 Stalkers left alive. Brockemon with the 1 Marauder, not even going to take out that pylon just. Meanwhile, Mirai trying desperately to recover. We just see he's at a 30 food deficit to Brockemon. Chrono boosting out those 1-1 ups and dropping a ton of gateways after losing 2 gateways in the main. So it's a huge amount of damage done by Brockemon with that drop and harass at the back at the same time. Mirai just didn't know how to handle that, mixing up his units and sending way too few to the back, and leaving way too many at the front. And Brockemon not relenting, pushing out again, this time with a couple more medevacs, but a smaller bioforce. But Mirai has very, very little left. He's trying desperately to tech as well, so doesn't have the money to produce units right now, and these two sentries at the front are easily taken care of, and these gateways will just be mopped up as well. Pretty comfortably by Brockemon. We do see that Nexus is getting beaten on. Mirai desperately trying to warp in units. Some good force fields there, but just not enough units to utilize those force fields. It looks like Brockemon is just going to crush through this. He is taking out those gateways, desperately being chrono boosted, but there's the GG from Mirai. So Brockemon takes that game and goes up 1-0 in the series, which is pretty good for him.